Welcome back. Honestman, here to take down Penance in Final Fantasy X. Before we jump in with the fight, I do want to highlight my setup. First and foremost, I am using my quote-unquote ultimate armor, which I discussed in the endgame episode prior to this one. And I just want to be very, very clear, especially for folks who didn't watch that episode, that this is not the optimal armor for this fight. But that is not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise is to demonstrate that you don't need to make enemy-specific armors. You can just have one all-purpose armor, which was the point of the armor we see before us here. I feel like this is the best all-around single armor for all of Endgame, including the Penance fight. That's not to say that it's optimal for Penance, just that you don't need to make separate armors for everything. Hopefully I don't have to belabor that point. Nevertheless, that's what we're using. I do want to highlight, since I'm on this screen, that Auron is set to Slayer. That's going to be highly relevant. Everyone else is pretty much set to Ally. The other overdrive modes don't really matter. I have Celestial Weapons for everyone who matters, which is kind of everyone except Yuna. She's not going to be doing any attacking, so I'm going to have my custom weapon on her. But that really isn't relevant to anything. You can use whatever you want there. I'm going to be starting the encounter with Riku and Lulu with First Strike weapons, but they'll switch to their Celestial weapons immediately thereafter. And that's just to get a little extra tick speed at the very beginning of combat. Not super important, but also not hard to do either. So there you go. For stats, it's a pretty standard array: maximum strength, defense, magic defense, as well as high agility. I do go above and beyond for agility as well as magic. I cover that in detail in my endgame episode. Certainly, if you don't care about the speed of your Aeons, 170 agility is more than sufficient, but call me a stickler. I do care about the agility of my Aeons. So I take agility 255 for that purpose. I do fully understand that 170 is the functional max. For luck, I feel like 120 is kind of the sweet spot. So everyone is approximately around 120. Accuracy is completely irrelevant, and evasion is basically just sort of a filler stat that doesn't really matter. And I think that's everything. So without further ado, let's jump into the fight. To start, we just need to switch to our Celestial weapons on Riku and Lulu. And then we want 3 hits against each arm. Each arm has 500,000 hit points, which means that 5 max damage hits is 5 hit points short of a kill, which is not ideal. So what we do is use a Dark Matter so that we spend a relatively quick turn getting our 6th hit on both arms at the same time, as well as some chip damage against the body. Once we have our 3 hits and Dark Matter, we focus on the body. Auron is going to give us the remaining damage against the arms. Just going to be coming up shortly here. For this specific fight, Tornado is the best damaging overdrive there is. This is going to give us 2 max damage hits against each arm, as well as approximately 135,000 damage against the body. all told, that's over 500,000 damage. Certainly using an overdrive like this is slower than quick hit, but not so slow that you don't come out ahead. Ideally, we do not want the arms to have a turn, which is actually the reason that Ribbon is not ideal for this combat. Because the arms are the only things capable of inflicting ailments that Ribbon would protect you against. So as long as they don't get a turn, Ribbon doesn't do anything for you. But again, my point here is not to try to claim that this is the best armor for Penance. It's not. But that's okay. We're going to do just fine. We have Lulu and Riku in here for phase 1 because we're facing group attacks here, which aren't counterable. And they can't counter. So that just kind of works out. Whereas in phase 2, we will be facing attacks that can be countered, a single target attack. So we'll put the gals on the bench and bring in the boys with counterattack for phase 2. Astute observers and Final Fantasy X experts will note that I'm doing this fight wrong. The conventional wisdom is that you should kill one arm as quickly as possible and then alternate between the arms, basically trying to avoid the condition where the body gets a turn while both arms are alive. Because that is the state in phase 2, which can lead to Judgment Day, which is a game over. And although I once adhered to that school of thought as well, part of my goal here is to sort of illustrate my evolution on that topic. Basically leaning into Auron. I think that's going to give us the best throughput. And even though I'm not trying to, optimize this encounter specifically, not to belabor the point too much, I'm not trying to optimize this specific encounter so much as I was trying to optimize endgame when I devised the armor that I'm using here. I nevertheless think that this is going to stack up very favorably against other Penance clears out there. And the way we can measure that is through the number of drops. At the end of the fight, I think you'll note that I have fewer drops compared to other clears online. And the drops are a direct indicator of how many times the arms were killed. So, fewer drops, the fewer times you're killing the arms, the fewer turns the enemy team is getting, which means the faster, I shouldn't say faster, in like real world time, but the more efficient, the more damage throughput. So I think we'll compare very favorably. I think we are very close to phase 2 here. I think we are right on the cusp. Now he does gain haste status, the main body, during this transition, but it only lasts for 1 turn. So using a purifying salt to get rid of it really isn't worth it. It's kind of a wasted turn. Get our counterattackers in the game. Immolation is going to inflict armor break, which means that a subsequent hit is basically instant death. It'll do max damage. So we need to get rid of that. And the way we get rid of that is with Dispel. Out of MP on Kamari. Certainly I have 3 stars on hand to help out with MP, but not quite yet. We'll see. Pull Riku in temporarily. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. That will give Waka something to do with his 0 MP. He'll throw out a Dark Matter. And here comes the 3 stars. We're gonna have to use Yuna here. Just get our money's worth with an energy blast. So we basically sort of flip from phase 1. In phase 1, you want to kill the arms before the arms get a turn. In phase 2, you want to kill the arms before the body gets a turn. But we also don't want the arms to get a turn either, so... Ornn clean up here. And part of this was just sort of shielding Orin a little bit, since he's getting a little lean on hit points. I like to try to avoid getting to a healing situation at all costs, since that costs time, turns. I'm looking at how many turns I have. I think we're going to have to go Yuna here. Yeah, so... And specifically, we are going to... Oh, that's perfect. Specifically, we are going to go with Anima. Because Anima will get us over 200,000 against each arm. Go ahead and use your Judgment Day. That's fine. I tend to forget who's been broken. I think Titus. Titus might be in a broken state right now. Have to be careful of that. He is not. He's just out of MP. We just had a Judgment Day So we're not going to get another one back to back so quickly. I think that's right. I thought there was a counter between how frequently he can do Judgment Day. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I just got lucky, but I think that's right. I want to say it's like a 25 turn counter. Hoping he doesn't hit Riku. Kamari would be good. Orin is not ideal. I am going to go ahead and dispel Orin here. He should be able to take another hit if needed. Attaboy. We're gonna have to protect him a little bit. But we should be coming in on the home stretch here. And we're just going to go Bahamut here. This might be a Judgment Day. Clearly we are taking a little bit of a risk here with Orin. I think if he can get through this turn, we're in good shape, though. This coming attack, that is. That's what I was thinking would happen. Waka's gonna go out anyway. We didn't get our counterattack there, which is not ideal. That cost us a hit, but I think we're in pretty good shape. I think we're in the home stretch here. we go. And there we have it. So that's 24 drops total, Dark Matter and Master Spheres combined. I think that's pretty good. I think folks would have a hard time beating that in terms of damage throughput. And that's going to be a wrap. Obviously, could have played it safer there. I had some mixes with Riku in my back pocket if I needed it, and could have made more liberal use of 3 stars and other tools, but ultimately just didn't think it was necessary, and I didn't want to pay the turn penalty for doing that. And I don't think that was necessarily a great run either. I think Auron was disproportionately targeted. Usually I don't have problems keeping him alive, and we have a boatload of hit points on Titus that I wasn't able to take advantage of, not without addressing his MP problems at least, and I just didn't want to bite the bullet on that. Nevertheless, I hope that this illustrates the viability, if you will, of my personal ultimate armor, the armor that I favor for the broader end game. Definitely this could have been better, right? If I had created a Penance specific armor, I maybe could have done even better. Is it worth it? I mean, that's my fundamental thesis here. I don't think it is worth it. I don't think you need to do that. But as always, you know, your fun is not wrong. If you enjoy making a bunch of custom armors in Final Fantasy X, go for it. Definitely that system is there to be used as you see fit. In any event, that's going to do it for now. I hope that this video inspired you, perhaps, and if nothing else, it was an opportunity to showcase how awesome Auron is. So that'll do it for now. Thank you all so much. Please like and subscribe. This has been Honestman, and I will see you next time.